Welcome back to another first impression, this time for the anime, the Casebook of Arne. Synopsis on any list. Arne Anointed is a vampire detective who manipulates supernatural powers. Lynn Ryan Weiss is a nobleman's daughter who loves vampires. Their worlds should never have crossed, but they join hands to solve a bloody mystery. In the darkest of nights, Lynn finds herself in desperate need of help. Then she wanders into the mysterious city of Lügenberg, where non-humans live. Lynn's world changes drastically when she encounters Arne, a vampire who's called the worst in the city. And tonight, a new murder case has occurred. What is the truth behind the bizarre incident that takes place in a world where humanity and the bizarre intersect? Come on, human, you may dance merrily under the crimson moon. Steam page, interesting. Oh boy, okay. I have a lot of opinions. First off, I watched the first 5 episodes. Why? Now, the first episode is a pretty self-contained story. We have a beginning, middle, end. This is essentially a detective mystery show about our group, which is Arne Neuntöte, the vampire detective, and Lynn Ryan Weiss, who is, and they form like a mystery team, detectives, we solve cases, yada yada, sure. Now the first episode, again, they solve a case, fine, it was pretty well directed, they did a fantastic job. I found the first episode, a good introduction. Not mind-blowing, but a good introduction. I like the first episode. Then we have the second case, which is 4 episodes, which introduces more or less how these two characters came together to form this detective team. So understandable that we take a little bit more time to explore the beginning. So that is why I had to watch the first 5 episodes. Now, there are a lot of problems I have, especially with the second case. Now, this, as you have probably surmised, is an adaptation of a game, which I didn't know before, but now a lot of the stuff makes more sense. And story-wise, I like the first episode. I like the idea of like a supernatural detective kind of thing where we have, in some cases, maybe supernatural culprits we need to catch. I like the idea. You can work with that. You can do some interesting stuff because you have supernatural beings on your side. Arne Neuntöte, the vampire detective. Maybe you can use some special powers. You can make some interesting puzzles around that. I like the idea. I like the first episode. It is well done. They did a good job, in my opinion. But the second case, I did not like at all. The second case is what I feel like it felt like a game. It was, first off, the second case was too long, too drawn out. There were a lot of parts that didn't really make sense, in my opinion. Did not really like it. Now, the characters, I can see, okay, characters are a strong point, which is sadly not much for the show. Animation is fine. Because it is a mystery show, the story is the biggest part, or should be the biggest part. You have a mystery, you present a mystery, you have to strategically include clues in the story itself, so that whenever you reveal, oh, X did Y in this case, you can go back and be like, oh, yeah, right, I forgot. They mentioned, oh, yeah. You get this epiphany. Or, if you are smart enough, you can solve the case while it is ongoing. Be like, oh, This is strange. Okay. You know, this is where, in my opinion, the enjoyment comes from these mystery shows. Now, having good characters adds to that naturally. But not having a good mystery, I feel like, takes a lot away. And there were too many parts in the second case that I did not like. Now, it would be too spoilery, so I'm going over ratings first, and then I can spoil. Now, AniList has it at 60% mean. My anime list at 6.25. I would say it's a 6 out of 10. I feel like it's meh. I would recommend, if you find this interesting, just look for the Steam game. I don't know how good that is. I have no idea, never played it, never heard of it. Maybe it has some good ratings, then I would definitely recommend go for the Steam game. Don't go for the anime. Now let's spoil, okay? Big spoiler ahead. Nice. Now the first episode, they did an anime. I can't even be mad. We have a case. I do not remember exactly what the case was, but we get introduced to Lewis Hartman. Let me go here. Lewis Hartman. Now, he is more or less our main character for the first episode. He wants to uncover this case. So we find Arne Neuntöte and Lynn Rice-Weiss, and they together, because Lewis Hartman is also a detective, all three together, they try to solve the case. Now, we get the opening, we see the opening, okay, everything is good. We see the group, we see naturally Arne Neuntöte, Lynn Rice-Weiss, Lewis Hartman, and we see Amy, which is like a zombie kind of character. And it's like, okay, we solve the case. It's like a witch who can summon like golems, and she more or less just killed people because she needed blood to feed to her flowers. Doesn't make sense. I don't know, I'm not a witch, but it makes sense enough. Now, again, spoiler, last warning. Turns out Lewis Hartman dies. First episode, he's gone. He's gone. The opening where he's like, oh, I'm part of the group, yeah, never happened. Second episode comes, opening's place, he's removed from the opening. They did a fantastic job, in my opinion, misleading me in believing he would be part of the group. With the inclusion in the opening and all this stuff, it was well done. It was like, hey, we gotcha, and you did. Fair enough. And I was like, hey, this seems like something fine. Now we get to the second case. This again is where Lynn Rice-Weiss is going to meet Arne Neuntöte. They work together. Now the second case is around her dad, Lynn Rice-Weiss's dad. This is again before they started being detectives together. She loves vampires, which is their own thing, but her dad is weird because her mom died 2 years ago. It's the anniversary of her death. She's like visiting the grave. The dad is unwilling to go to the grave for some reason. She comes back. The dad is strange for like the last 2 years, and he's like, soon it is time. And naturally, okay, mystery is going on. What is happening? We find out the city is very dangerous, yada yada yada. People die. We find out the dad is seemingly responsible for the killings, and there's some kind of monster involved. We don't know if the dad's a monster, is it an accomplice? Whatever the case, people die. My first assumption was, okay, he needs to kill people to keep his wife alive, or the projection he has, his illusion. We find out later, spoiler, last warning, I guess. He wants to resurrect the wife by gathering body parts and then doing a ritual to bring her back. Okay, fair enough. good motivation, understandable. He's a little bit crazy. He's very focused on that. Okay, we have a bad guy in the dad. Someone who could be involved, or he is a monster. Okay, we just need to find out and maybe some reasoning, and we would have a solid mystery, in my opinion. Now, Lynn gets called to her dad. I'm like, okay. This feels like we need to sacrifice her to bring the mom back because they are very similar. It looks very much like her mom. But it's not the case because she gets knocked unconscious, wakes up, and her dad is dead. Now the mystery begins. Who killed the dad? We then find out that was a body double. And it's like, okay, but why? Why fake the dad death? Which, now that I think about, makes still no sense. Then we find the dad through a secret opening is down below in the basement where they want to resurrect the mom. And his dad is there. And it's like, okay, so we have a body double dead. We have the real dad dead. Okay, what is happening? We find out the dad prepared the body replacement because he wanted to resurrect the wife, take his daughter and his newly resurrected wife and disappear. Understandable because you could link the mom to the death maybe. So far understandable. But he got killed. We also find out more stuff, it doesn't really matter. Now my problems, which are so many. Now we find out, for some reason, the dad forced his two mates to quote-unquote entertain guests. Which is, he prostituted his mates to some guests. We didn't know at this point there were even guests coming. We don't know how many guests. It just got sprung on us out of nowhere. Hey, yeah, he sells his mates. And it's like, why? Never gets explained. There's no reasoning given in the anime. Maybe the game is different. In the anime, no reason given. He just does it because he, I guess, wants to. Now, I would have been okay with if they explain, hey, he got money or he got power, whatever. He's a nobleman, so he should have money and he should have enough power, but at least one explanation would be nice. Which naturally, two of the guys that work there in the mansion, they like the two mates. So it is essentially just, hey, the dad is an asshole, everyone has a reason to kill him. That is just what the anime is portraying us. Hey, everyone has a reason to kill him because he's an asshole. It's like, did we need that reason? Couldn't we have done something else? Because it came out of nowhere just to make him more evil. He already killed a bunch of dudes. That should be enough in my opinion, but it's more or less everyone has a motive. And we try to find the murderer. Essentially. Which naturally, after going through some of the alibis, it was pretty clear who the murderer was. Now, some of the parts were not very clear. But this was already one of the big parts where I'm like, what is going on? Then we have the whole interaction. Oh, fuck me. Now, Lynn got attacked by the monster pretty early on. She had a pendant of her mom, and her mom was like, this is going to protect you. So she has it, she's like, oh, please help me, and gets teleported to the mansion or city where Arne Turtle is, so that she can bring him back as a detective. Why that happens, never explained. Now there seems to be some connection between her mom and Arne somewhere. We don't know. But it didn't get explained in the 4 episodes. So there is enough time to do that, but nope. No explanation. It just happened, I guess, story, to have story happening. This is how we get him back, and he can help us. It's the second part that is very strange. That this pendant teleported her to the vampire detective that she needs for help. Already the second part, I'm like, meh. Then we have this whole interaction. We try to find out what is happening. Mysteries going on. She, for reasons, she needs to go to the bathroom. Not bathroom. She needs to take a bath. And because of Arne, they had an interaction. She's like, oh, I'm smelling. I need to go wash myself. Fair enough. Arne wanted to tell her something beforehand, but she stormed out, went into the bath. Turns out she gets attacked. She gets nearly killed. She has a deep wound, whatever. She nearly bled out. We had the whole interaction with Arne. He then... Fuck me. She is being attacked, which is already bullshit. Why is Arne not going after her? Because he's like, I wanted to warn you that they would probably attack you. It's half an episode earlier, she got attacked by her dogs that were always friendly to her. She had a little note that told her, hey, go to I'm waiting in the backyard. She goes to the backyard, gets attacked by dogs, but had nothing was turning in her brain that someone was probably trying to get rid of her. Because she's trying to find the murderer, and I guess the murderer doesn't want to be found. Shocker. And then we go to the bathroom, a bath scene where she gets attacked, nearly killed. She's bleeding out. Arne's over there monologuing. Oh, I wanted to warn you. And she's like, drink my blood. Which I understand. She is a vampire lover. She was like, she adores vampires. She wants them to suck her blood for some reason. She's just a vampire fangirl. But in this case, I would totally understand. If I'm bleeding out, you can't help me, I'm dying, but you can use my blood for something, then use my blood. I don't need it. It's going into the ground, being wasted. Use it. If you drink it, fair enough. Do what you want. Totally understandable. And then she's like, she's still monologuing, yeah, but then you are like a ghoul or you are like a puppet for me. And she's like, oh yeah, give me your blood, but this would make you into a vampire. She is bleeding out. She's dying. And they are monologuing, which in turn, he's giving her his blood, so she turns into a vampire. That is essentially what is happening at the end. Why is she even able to do that? She should be dead. If I am the murderer, I can ambush her and I want to kill her. I'm not leaving her for dead. I'm killing her. It makes no sense that the murderer was unable to just kill her. It's really stupid, in my opinion, which is already the third part that is not really making much sense. Oh man. So many parts. At the end, we go to the whole thing. Turns out it was the butler. Who would have thought the butler would be the murderer? In a mystery, sure. Turns out he's a vampire. That I did not know. Did not consider. Even though there were hints that there could be a vampire here. The whole time, different storyline, doesn't matter for my review. But there were enough hints that, hey, there is someone here that is supernatural, the monster appearance. There's a vampire hut in the mansion, we find out. There are enough hints that there is a vampire. Turns out the butler is a vampire. He wanted to turn her. Now, as they talk about this, they show the scene where he more or less he's punching or whatever Lynn into unconsciousness, knocking her out, and it alludes to that at that point he tried to make her into his ghoul or whatever puppet, and for some reason it didn't work. Even if you go and say, hey, he tried it in the bath because he's a murderer. Again, why didn't he just kill her? He tried to make her into a puppet by biting her. Let's say he did it in the bath. It didn't work because she was no longer human. She got her blood already drained and was no longer human, was his reasoning, which makes no sense because at this point, until the bar scene where she is bleeding out, she never got her blood drunk by Arne, nor did she ever drink his blood at this point. So she was human. She was dying, bleeding out. She didn't have supernatural healing or whatever. She was still human. Why did she not turn into his puppet? It makes no sense with the information we have. Maybe there's something else. Maybe she's like a goddess, a fairy, some bullshit pulling out of your ass. Whatever it is not explained in the 5 episodes. She just did not turn. It makes no sense at all. Which is already the 4th point where I'm like, what is going on? I assume they rewrote some of the stuff that happened in the game without really making sense of it. Again, that is one big point, because his whole idea of the butler was making her into a puppet, resurrecting his real master, and then having a noble position where he can reintroduce his real master into the world. And it didn't work because we don't know. There's no reason why it didn't work, as far as we know, because she got later turned into a vampire, non-human. But at the time where he had the chance to bite her, she was still a human, as far as we know. Which is already like, so many parts where I'm like, major parts. It's not that there's a little bit here, a little bit there, where you are like, okay, inconsistent, but fair enough. These are major revelations that make no sense, or lead to major parts that leading to that makes no sense. We have the whole, hey, we go through every character to see if they could be. They have this little play, which the play itself makes sense because Arne is like, hey, I can make you into a vampire, but then you would be a vampire. And she's like, okay, we do like a deal. I become a vampire for you, but you need to give me a stage to solve the case. She wants to be the main person to solve the case. So they have a little play. He's putting people on a pedestal. Hey, this is why they are the culprit, and she's countering, the whole objection, attorney style. Now, some of the explanations don't make any sense. It's like very weak rebuttals at points, which doesn't really matter because you have someone who is clearly the culprit, and it's not that you need to defend all the potential culprits. You just need to convince everyone that someone is undeniably the one killing the master, which was a butler. He was a vampire, and over the 10-20 years or however long he worked there, no one ever questioned that he did not have a reflection. That was very strange, because the whole mansion has a bunch of mirrors. Okay, some of them are hidden, but also windows reflect as well under a lot of circumstances, and no one questioned that either. No one knew he was a vampire, which is very strange. And overall, the whole case did not feel good. It's a mystery. It's a whole mystery case where at the end it should feel good. It should feel like, the explanation. Detective Conan is one of those, shows that do it pretty well, or did pretty well, even though they recycled a lot. But it's always, hey, we have given you some information, or, you know, here's a way this should have gone down or could have gone down, something you may not have known. But after you know, oh, they used an ice block in one of the episodes, I don't know which one, and it's like, now it makes sense why it was wet, why this is a closed room murder. Now everything falls into place. Oh, it feels really good with the explanation. This did not feel good at all. It did not feel good to guess. It did not feel good, the explanation. It didn't help that we had to shoehorn comedy in. Now, it may have worked in the game, I don't know. Because we find out, Lynn finds out, hey, our vampire Arne tells her, hey, there's another vampire in the mansion somehow, or there's another vampire involved, and there's going to be a fight between these two vampires if they ever meet. And she's very excited. Two vampires that she loves fighting one another. Wow, what a great show that would be. Meanwhile, investigating the murder of her dad. It's like, that is a whiplash on another level. We are trying to find the murderer of your dad. Everyone hates your dad. You find out all of this is a lie. Everything is crumbling down. Your whole life is crumbling away. And you are like, trying to solve this case. Haha, funny, haha, excited, two vampires fight. Additionally, this was also one of those things where I'm like, what is happening? We have... Her dad died. She found out her dad died. She's in a room with a lot of the people that work for the mansion, the two maids. We have two other people. We have the butler, the two maids. We have the guard. And... were those the four? I believe so. Those four were there. And it's like they all talk to each other. Oh, you are the murderer. You are the murderer. And our character is sitting there, Lynn, and it's like, no one is mourning my dad. No one is mourning that he's dead. Which, out of context, you could understand. She knows at this point that her dad killed multiple people to try and resurrect her mom, and forced the two maids she grew up with, or knows quite a long time, to prostitute themselves. And she's like, no one is mourning my dad. No fucking shit, no one is mourning your dad. Because he's a fucking asshole. He killed a bunch of dudes. He prostituted the two girls, the two maids. The two guys like the two maids. One of them even went to the dad with the maid and was like, hey, I want to have an official relationship with her. And the dad said, fuck you. Not like that, but you know, essentially. And it's like, oh, no one, oh, poor me, my dad. No one is going to mourn your dad. No one is going to mourn Epstein, you know. What the fuck? It didn't help that this was 4 whole episodes I had to watch. But yeah, it was not enjoyable at all. But I feel like I yapped enough. If you are still here, what are you doing? Don't watch the anime. Go play the game. It's probably so much better.